Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning on in to our Valley News Now desk this morning. We got a beautiful sunrise on our hands happening right now at this 7:30, halfway through the 7 o'clock hour, 7:30. We're looking at for a time here in 15 degrees. It's a little warmer than we were looking at yesterday, not nearly as warm as we were looking at earlier this week. But one more time, thank you so much for joining us here on our Valley News Now desk. My name is Alex Larson. So we're going to start things off talking about that and just that. What is going on outside? We do have a first alert weather day today, so I want to make sure that you are prepared and aware of what is happening outside. Meteorologist Lisa Green will also have some words with us about this in just a little bit. But just quickly here, we're sitting at 15 degrees again here in Fargo. We're going to be partly cloudy, mostly cloudy for most of the day. 36 degrees is our high that we're looking at. And then here come the showers at about 4 o'clock. Snow, wind, cloudy wind. So we're looking at a mild wintry mix and strong wind this afternoon. That first alert weather day continues on into tomorrow with scattered snow showers, strong northwesterly winds, and blowing snow. This is going to be in the afternoon. You can see a lot of action happening there. Seeing this potential snowfall through Saturday morning. You can see some areas, Fergus Falls, check that out, could be looking at about 4 to 5 inches over in the Fergus Falls area. Carrying on north over to Fargo, it looks like. Can't really see over the lettering here, but as we continue on east, you can see as well, even Detroit Lakes looking at potentially 2 to 3 inches of snow. And if you got to head anywhere near Minneapolis, if you're heading there this weekend, got any plans, 1 to 2 inches. So really widespread, it's looking like. A few areas are going to be able to skip out. It looks like potentially right about as you get into Valley City. If you live on the outskirts of Valley City, you could maybe be safe from this snowfall, but we'll see. We're going to head on over to our 11-day planner. As you can see, again, first alert weather day today, another one coming tomorrow. 3 degrees for a high on Saturday, and windy. That wind's not going to die down for Sunday. 14 degrees is a high then, low of -3. As we continue on through next week, you can see that 36, even that 38, some of you pushing 40. Many of us pushing 40, I guess. Earlier this week, that's a thing of the past as we take on next week. At one point, next Sunday, high of -3, low of -13. Ouch. So lots going on that you're going to want to be aware of as we continue to take on these first alert weather days that we got today and tomorrow, as well as we continue out the rest of the month of January. How crazy is that to say? Finishing out the month of January. I feel like it's still the new year. Halfway through. That's wild. Anyways, you can stay up to date here on Valley News Live, on air and online, but particularly on that VNL weather app, where our first alert storm team has forecasts for you right in the palm of your hands. It's free in the App Store, easy to use. We're going to move on to our news portion of this segment. We've been covering this story for you all morning out of Minneapolis. Last night, an ICE officer shot a man in the leg after he was attacked, sending both of them to the hospital. Here's video from that scene. Department of Homeland Security says this started just before 7 o'clock last night during a traffic stop. Officials say the suspect fled in his vehicle, crashed into a parked car, and ran away on foot. When the officer caught up and tried to arrest him, DHS says the suspect fought back. Then 2 other people coming out of a nearby apartment and attacking the officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. The officer firing 1 shot, hitting the original suspect in the leg. All 3 attackers are now in custody. Both the officer and the suspect are being hospitalized. And afterwards, angry crowds gathering last night in Minneapolis, where federal officers were present and temporarily blocking a street. Folks blowing whistles, yelling expletives, and throwing snowballs at masked officers. At one point, the officers could be seen using flashbang devices and chemical irritants on the protesters. Now, this comes after Governor Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota Tim Walz, called for Minnesotans to protest peacefully in an address where he also called ICE operations in a state. He called ICE organizations in the state, quote, a campaign of organized brutality. We've got much more of this story for you over on our website, valleynewslive.com. All you got to do is click on this story. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz could soon be facing impeachment. Republican lawmakers have drafted 4 articles of impeachment against the governor, accusing him of corrupt conduct while in office. Articles stem from fraud in state programs. Valley News Team's Ethan Kramer spoke with the lawmaker who created the articles. Let's take a listen.
Articles of impeachment have been drafted against Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The resolution accuses him of knowingly concealing widespread fraud within state programs.
But when I looked at the Constitution, I think it was fairly simple. You know, we have a responsibility to be good stewards with the taxpayer dollars.
The resolution details 4 articles. Article 1 claims Walz permitted fraud despite repeated warnings. Article 2 accuses him of interfering with oversight and investigations. Article 3 alleges he placed politics above lawful administration. And Article 4 says he failed to execute laws governing public funds. The articles come as federal agents investigate large-scale fraud schemes in Minnesota. Top prosecutors estimate the total fraud in Minnesota could be up to $9 billion.
We are responsible for every single penny of those taxpayer dollars. On top of that, you've got the whistleblowers who have been treated very badly through this process. They're supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be there sounding the alarm.
Lawmakers will vote on the articles when the legislative session begins on Tuesday, February 17th.
There's a hope, I guess, that all representatives would sign on this. Because ultimately, do we work for the people? Do we work for the taxpayers of this state? Or are they going to turn it into a partisan issue?
In Fargo-Moorhead, Ethan Kramer, Valley News Live.
So the impeachment would require a majority vote in the Minnesota House to move forward. Then it would need a 2/3 vote in the Senate to be able to remove Walz from office. Meanwhile, 3 articles of impeachment have been filed against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Minnesota Representatives Angie Craig and Kelly Morrison are among those supporting this move. Congresswoman Robin Kelly filing the articles accusing Noem of obstruction for denying lawmakers access to ICE facilities. Noem is also accused of violating public trust by directing arrests without warrants and abusing power for personal gain. And Fargo police are now asking everybody across the FM Metro to check your security cameras and help them find a missing woman, in which police do believe now that foul play is involved. 25-year-old Isadora Wengel was last seen December 31st near West Fargo. Police are asking everybody, check your security cams and doorbell footage from the past 2 weeks. Wengel's described as 5'3" with blonde hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen wearing a white cardigan with pink hearts on it, as well as blue jeans and either white sneakers or brown boots. And we've got more for you on this story of what we all know so far over on our website, valleynewslive.com, and of course, as always, your free VNL News app. Big changes could soon be coming to Grand Forks Public Schools. School officials are currently in the process of proposing significant budget cuts as they fall over $4 million short for the year 2026. They held a meeting on Monday to talk about possible reductions to programs like Phi-Ed, music, and other administrative positions. More than 70 people coming to that meeting, with 20 of them voicing their concerns. Parents and teachers speaking up about how cutting these programs can hurt students.
If we do not teach students how to move their bodies and fuel themselves before graduation, most will never learn it later. The result is declining physical health, rising mental health concerns.
Board's got more meetings planned to talk about these cuts, but they also have until February to make the final decision. A new program in Fargo is giving families a lifeline when it comes to teens and addiction. Starting next month, the area's first outpatient recovery program will be open for teenagers. So First Step Recovery will welcome teens ages 14 to 17 and 18-year-olds still in high school who are battling substance use disorder. Leaders say early intervention is critical. Most adults they work with say their addiction started at either age 14 or 15.
Currently, in the Fargo-Moorhead area, there is not an adolescent substance use program, and so it's so needed to be able to help the youth in our community.
The outpatient program means teens can continue going to school and living at home while all getting help. Program starts February 2nd. Families can call First Step Recovery at 701-451-4900. Now, that's about all I got for you here today on our Valley News Now desk for now. So we do have that first alert weather day. Meteorologist Lisa Green will be doing some cut-ins for you at about 7:26 and 7:56. I'll be having updates for you here on the desk as well, and we'll go through the road maps, what we're looking at for the future, all that fun stuff that weather's got to bring. But that's all I got for you for now. Be sure to tune in at 8:26 when we're going to talk more about our first alert weather days, what is coming today and what is coming tomorrow. Also, make sure you got that VNL News and Weather app so you can get those forecasts and breaking news right at your fingertips.